All right. Hi, everybody. You know what time it is. It's Crossroad time. Let me actually type. There we go. Okay, so we're back again because I am way too invested in helping Lumy make the worst life choices that she possibly can. So I hope that you guys are here for that too. And maybe if you're not spending your evening doing anything, you might just want to catch up and see what exactly is Lumy doing. And is this guy a wizard or a cannibal? Because those are our choices. Actually, right now, she still just thinks that he is a, well, cannibal, I think, because her response to that was to play dead. So she's always making the best life choices. And we still have many, many endings to explore. So I think that we should get back into it and see if we are doomed to live out the rest of our lives trapped with the horned man in the Belle from Beauty and the Beast library, or if it's ever going to get back to being Little Red Riding Hood. Yes. I hope you guys had a good week. Ah, there we are. So, at this point, she is trapped in the tower, and so are we. It's gonna be good, I swear. For those of you who have missed out on some of the earlier parts, we've had great endings. We've had dead grandmas, we've had grandmas hooking up with side characters, we've had her killed a variety of ways. She has only found true love with the Slender Man so far, so it's been great. Oh, thank you, Technicolor Snail. Alright, so let's dive right back into it. After that, I calmed down a bit and agreed to talk. So we're trying to see if we can get out of this tower and to our grandma's house with the basket full of tea, ice that never melts, and her fan, because Gran X Fan has been the ship of this live stream, because if you don't get Gran her fan, she will kill you. That was an ending. We got killed because we didn't bring the fan, so we've got to make sure that we bring it. We've been sitting opposite each other in silence for a few minutes. My companion in misfortune looks at his bandaged hands thoughtfully. Okay, this game loves to say that people have bandaged hands and then never show them. That is a huge thing. One of the other love interests, Tenko, allegedly has horribly bandaged hands that you never see because they didn't feel like animating it, I guess. I'm trying to let everything I've heard sink in. So we're in the tower surrounded by the dome. We're in the weird magical tower surrounded by a weird magical dome. In theory, it's possible to leave it, but my so-called companion has been here for a long time with no luck. And it looks like he has tried so many options that my slamming against the wall was bound to fail from the start. And the tower has a bunch of special details like instability, preservation? I honestly try to follow everything he says, but get lost in a whirlwind of information. No, I don't understand. Ugh. In despair, I drop my head on the table, hitting my forehead against the tabletop. The man looks at me but says nothing. Not endearing at all. But still, why can't you find the way out? I told you, I cannot close the contour. We're doing a recap like a TV show. We've read this dialogue, but that's fine. I still have a feeling that we talk in different languages. Maybe you haven't tried enough. I've had a lot of time. That's right. Insult the person you're trapped with, Lumy. We're off to a great start. A lot? How long have you been here? He keeps silent. I think my question will go unanswered, but I'm wrong. Although maybe it would be better not to know the answer. I don't know for sure. I stopped keeping track of time after the first 200 years. Dun dun dun. How do you even live here? And how are you still alive, if I may ask? So we read all of this. Horrified Lumy. He's a mortal baby. So let's get to our first choice. What a relief. Or dead people don't usually make a habit of coming back to life. It's Lumy. She believes everything, so what a relief. But it can't be done to the dead anyway, right? It can. Some of them can even come back to a normal life, at least if they died recently. Skeletons can't have a mind of their own. So he is a wizard. He's a wizard, Lumy. I can see why we are talking in different languages then. All wizards are weird. Well, at least those who met them say so, and meeting a real wizard isn't easy. I guess I could consider myself lucky if I met a real wizard in other sort of situations. Oh, the translation on this is rough sometimes, but that's okay. Nowadays, almost no one believes that wizards exist. Our village is an exception. Some of travelers tell about meeting wizards, and about them being weird. It's a common feature of all the tales. That's right, it's hard out here for a wizard-fulfilled being. People are always saying mean things about them. But for most of the world, they don't exist anymore. I don't know why, but at some point they stopped taking apprentices and using their arts to help people. Maybe they're all trapped in towers. And if I remember it right, after that the king said that wizards are outlaws, or that they only exist in tales. I don't know. I'm not sure. This king sounds real shifty. I mean, he sent an assassin to kill the grandmother. As a result, wizards vanished entirely, and most people forgot about him, which is why I thought he was a cannibal. But Gran says that now people look for magical things and gather them. Anything magical. Especially the books. Steal his books. Books of power. Magic comes with a prize. I guess it's another reason why Gran hates our king's guts. Then why did she marry him in one of the endings? I have nothing but questions. But now I see a real living wizard right in front of me. I hardly can suppress the wish to ask him to do something interesting for me. Ask for wishes. 3 wishes. First wish, get me out of this tower. Who knows what he counts as interesting? He's a wizard, so he is weird too. Lumy, I'd love to hear about magic at some point, though. I can't miss this chance. Alright, we'll save and overwrite, because a lot of times the decisions are... they matter. I'm really convinced that the choices we can make at the beginning of the game to what sort of story we want to tell impact what characters we can meet. Because so far we've met 4 of the main men, and I know that there are 5. And I really want to know if we can end up with Lamia, the snake lady, too. I have questions. Plus, he has been here for so long, he must know lots of things. Have you been alone all this time? Or has someone occasionally visited the tower? I'm alone in the tower. Sometimes different creatures pass by. Creatures? Last time I saw some short people saying something about a ring that must be destroyed. Okay, game? You're not cool enough for Lord of the Rings references. They said that the fate of the world depends on it. I didn't trouble them. All of us are weird in our own way. So are we saying that she exists in the same universe as Lord of the Rings? This is just Midgard. It's just her stumbling across the Midgardian plane. I'm not ready for that crossover. I snort, suppressing laughter. Indeed, how can the world depend on some ring? Says the girl who turned into a flower. Now, if you don't mind, I must go. Go where? The wizard stands up and walks to the door. I'm not stopping him. Too many things are on my mind. But he stops himself. Did you forget anything, Mr. Wizard? Please have a good name. How? Never mind. Since you're a resident of this tower now, too, Oh yeah, let me know if it's, I have the music how I normally have it filled being, but I can always lower it a bit in the options if it is louder than normal. I can't forbid you to explore it, but please don't go anywhere that seems unsafe. Like the East Tower or the West Tower, whichever one it was that you weren't supposed to go into. It's where he keeps his wilting rose with petals falling off of it. With this warning, he leaves me. Boop. Here, I can turn it down a titch. Boop. Can there be any skeletons in closets here? Okay. Look for skeletons in the closet or go to the bookcase. We want to look for all of his creepy, weird skeletons because he's allegedly weird, or read about magic. Huh. That's right, Allie. We know how she is. Let's explore for those skeletons. I mean, she'll probably die, but that's okay. I wanted to look at books at the beginning, but in comparison with a serious mystery, they can wait. Bookcases are here, and I can browse them anytime, and I'll probably find some herbology books there, but I wouldn't be able to study them right now, so I better explore the tower instead. Who knows what could be hidden in here? More shadows. Last time we had to fight a shadow. Let's see if we have to do it again. She threw something at it. It was great. What if even this room has something awful inside it, and I can't see it? Thinking of that, I look in every corner of the room carefully, but can't find anything new. Well, I guess the wizard wouldn't leave an unconscious girl in the same room with something potentially dangerous. Or would he? In any case, my curiosity is stronger than my will? What? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. After looking around the room again to check if I've missed anything, I enthusiastically go exploring, even though my will apparently does not want to. Star wipe. It feels like I've been walking for a long time. I haven't found anything really mysterious or interesting in the tower yet. The room where I woke up and where we came back later seems to be a living room and a library. It's one of the few inhabited rooms. Most of the rooms are empty. Weirdly enough, there's no dust or cobwebs in the rooms, maybe because of the tower's magic, but for some reason a feeling of neglect follows me in every room. There are rooms for many purposes. I see the room of requirement. I see books here and there, but not as many of them. I see bedrooms so different, as if they were furnished by different people. I find a kitchen and pantries with food, cupboards with different items. There are herbs in one of them, and I really want to stop there and look around properly. But still, I talk myself out of it and keep going. I'll have time to have a closer look, maybe an infinite amount of time. I find the room where the wizard lives, but I don't dare bother him. In the end, after exploring everything I could get to, I still can't find the dangerous places the wizard warned me about. I tried so hard to find all of the danger and throw myself into it. Come on. My legs are aching, and the basket pulls my... She brought the basket, guys. And the basket pulls my hand down. I didn't have a heart to leave behind. For some reason, the presence of a familiar thing makes me feel more confident. I have no idea what sort of help can be provided by a bunch of mint, ice, which hasn't melted yet. Is it because of the tower too? And Grand's fan. But it's better to be with them than without. I feel ready to give up when I think of one single place I haven't been yet. The basement. Okay, I'm ready to be scared. I saw the stairs leading down, but thought that nothing of interest could be there. I mean, what could be in a basement? But on the other hand, where are dark things supposed to be done, if not in the basement? Oh, Lumy, there's always the attic. You can do tons of dark things in the attic. My imagination starts showing me all kinds of frightening things, but at the moment they don't scare me. Quite the opposite. They encourage me. That's right, give in to the fear. What can be hidden in the basement? Okay, to the basement. What if down there in some secret room the bodies of the wizard's ex-wives? I know that I don't have any keys to the hidden rooms, but I was allowed to explore whatever I wanted. Plus, I don't think anyone would hide bodies in the basement. Why? Why does she know nothing? You know nothing. That's the best place to keep the bodies. But did the wizard have ex-wives at all? Because that's what's important about that. Not that he has bodies, but does he have ex-wives? After all, he has been here all alone for so many years. Maybe I'll find a horrible torture chamber or a red room of pain. But existence of such a room in the tower with lots of books seems very unlikely to me. I mean, if you have books, how can you be a murderer? It's just not possible. No murderer has ever owned a book. Anyway, what did he even warn me about? It looks like falling off the tree taught me nothing. Damn straight. If I'm ready to find some new adventures, some very doubtful adventures. The basement greets me with darkness, but I don't get a chance to find a source of light. Weird lamps light up the hall in front of me. As I keep walking, they keep lighting up in front of me and going up behind me. It's quite handy. So there's magic even in the basement. This tower is actually filled to the brim with it. Usually I hardly ever see magic, and here, it's wherever I go. Did the wizard organize the tower like this, or did some other person who built it decide to put everything that might ever be needed here? The echo of my steps bounces off the walls. There's no one near me except for the darkness, and the basket in my hands is my only companion. There's something creepy about it after all. I can't help thinking that some monster will jump out at the next turn. Oh my, here's the turn! I have a feeling there's more than one turn down here. Where should I go? To the left, or to the right? Which way, left or right? Doom either way, I think. I think either way leads potentially to our doom. We should have stayed and explored the books. Maybe he would have come back and given us tea, and it would have been just a nice time. She has a regular date, and it would have been a normal experience. I'm a right kind of guy. Made me laugh, so I'm gonna go with the right. I know we're divided, but we saved, so we can always come back and detour. The right corridor looks more convenient. Well, let's start with that. Oh god, oh. Okay, so we went right the first time. So, actually, I want to remember, because I have a terrible memory. So, I'm like a goldfish sometimes. So, we went to the right first. Yes, I'm writing it down. And this time, we'll go to the left. The right, then left. Now the other way for some variety. The spice of life when exploring creepy basements. To the left or to the right? I don't... Should we just keep alternating? No, now, like, she's... Yeah, we'll keep an alternating pattern. We'll go to the right again. Well, to the right then. Right deeds, right turns. We're trapped. We're trapped in this hallway forever. To the left. It's getting annoying. How long should I walk back and forth? Okay. Left again. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's a train. Oh no, these are lamps. Uh-oh. Oh no, is she lost in this corridor forever? Ooh, that would be really tedious. Okay, to the right. I have a feeling I'm lost, but that can't be, can it? Oh my gosh. Forward! There's a forward. Okay, always pick the option that wasn't there before. The road less traveled. Always forward. Diversity. Well, who knows? Forward. Just onwards. Uh-oh. Something shuffled in the corner. I don't know what it was. Why do I have goosebumps? This is not remotely scary. That's so sad. Such a wuss. To the left, to the right. Our forwardness did nothing. Well, last time we went to the right. Left. How many turns did I take? The corridors are winding, too. I've got all these post-its. I'm gonna have like a crazy person with a bunch of post-its in front of me. They got like the walls with the yarn. Which way did she go? Forward. I want out. There are no lamps. Is it finally the end? The exit. Finally, I definitely deserve a reward for going all this way. Where am I, by the way? I look around and can't help but sigh in disappointment. I'm still in the tower. But weirdly enough, this room is clearly inhabited. How was your journey? Did you reassure yourself that I keep lots of evil skeletons in here, have an army of monsters, and stuff the dungeons with captives? I turn my head and see the wizard. He is casually standing in the doorway leading to his laboratory, as I named that room the first time I saw it, and looks at me walking out of the wall with his eternally impenetrable expression. Yeah, that's awkward. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll save after all of that, so we can always go back to the hallway of doom if we need to. There's nothing to apologize for. I told you to walk around the place myself, but I'm still surprised that you decided to go to the basement. How did you know I went there? That's the way this hidden passage goes. Lucky thing you didn't get to the heptagram. It doesn't work, but who knows what could have happened. Heptagram? Now I want to get to the heptagram. That sounds really interesting and potentially like her death and her doom, which are always the most amusing of endings. Heptagram? Is it something magical? The wizard doesn't answer, and again I think he won't tell me a thing, but he sighs. I guess it'll be best for me to show it to you. You'll get there at some point anyway. Yeah, show me. Ooh, a tour. That kind of news even makes my legs feel better. But leave your basket here. It must be uncomfortable to walk around with it. I follow his advice with some regret. It's really uncomfortable to walk with the basket. As for the protection, I won't be able to ward the wizard off with the fan, and he is supposed to protect me from anything else in here. After all, he is the master. That's right, it was a Doctor Who crossover the entire time. She's the master's new companion. Lead the way, Mr. Wizard. For some reason, he frowns when I say it. It looks like he is thinking if he should speak up about something or not. He's not a wizard, he's just some guy. That's all just his manga collection in the back. They're not wizarding books at all. Is something wrong? No, nothing. He sighs again and leads me down the passage. This time I don't have to wander around. Pretty quickly the wizard opens a small door. I didn't notice before and we enter a relatively big hall. It's empty and dark, with greystone walls and dim lights on the walls. But looking closely I realize that the floor is covered with signs of a purely magical nature. There are lines connecting them. I have no idea what purpose they have. The wizard whispers something softly, and something looking like a star lights up on the floor. Symbols unknown to me shimmering in its center and points. The star flashes and goes out. Oh wow! What is it? A heptagram. 7-pointed star. So that's what that word means. Yes. Oh, Lumy, you're so wonderful. It's actually really wonderful playing with this. Not to a bed, Toothy Tooth, but definitely to a very comfy looking couch with some nice throw pillows. And what's the phrase, Star of Wizards? I've heard before. I was positive that it meant actual stars, even though I couldn't remember a constellation with this name. But it could be anything. For all I knew, the wizards could take hold of real stars. Or collect starlight somehow. I have no idea how it can be possibly done, but why not? And everything turns out to be much more simple. It's merely a scribbled star with scribbled symbols. The most ordinary star. Yes, it shines, but it's no big deal. That's right, she needs to see more magic to be impressed. In theory, in combination with the symbols, it's supposed to remove the dome off the tower, but it doesn't work in practice, and right now I don't understand why. It seems that everything is in its place and accounted for, but I can't close the contour. My contour is not on point. Are you sure we're speaking the same language, Mr. Wizard? Why did you even start calling me that? Oh, his eyes. Are we noticing this? He's going to murder her if she calls him Mr. Wizard one more time. Politeness helps you live longer. May I step into the star? Oh. Nothing but doom. You may. He's going to kill her. The star requires a sacrifice, and that's how he's going to open the dome. I decide to clarify. Is it dangerous? In theory, it isn't. In this case, I won't go there. Well, I guess there's nothing else to do here. We go back up. So, what now? The wizard shrugs. That depends on you. The tower is at your service. You can do whatever you like. Would it be right, though? The tower is yours after all. What if I do something wrong or ruin something? Out of ignorance, which is how Lumy does all things. I doubt you can actually ruin anything. Plus, that's harsh. That's harsh. Plus, you have my permission, so I will be the one to blame for not foreseeing things. That's curious. Gran would read me a lecture right now. Can you tell me more about the tower? What do you want to know? I don't, no, I'm scared. How did it even appear in our woods? There was nothing like it in there before. That's easy. The tower moves in time and space. I told you, it's the TARDIS. It was a Doctor Who episode the entire time. I guess I have a confused expression, because the wizard explains it some more. It's connected with the specific features of the dome and the tower itself. The dome can't keep changing the reality of one particular place for too long, so it moves. The tower has real coordinates, the real location of the tower in the real world and real time, which obviously is the time of your world for now, since I haven't seen any time periods that would go after it yet. Thus, it's simultaneously standing in one place, moving in time with its world, and moving around this world. I must admit, I don't understand a thing. Well, except for one point. The tower is jumping back and forth inside of a time machine, like a mad cat. Can you control this process anyhow? I can affect it by shifting vectors, but for me to find some particular spot, the vectors must be precise. What does that mean? Due to all of the movement, the final spot can be chosen only very approximately in the radius of many years and kilometers. So if the tower jumps really far from my home, we won't be able to put it back. Exactly. Will it keep moving if the dome disappears? Most likely at first it'll stay at the same spot, and then start moving again. There might be a chance that I won't be able to get out of the tower, so it doesn't sound so bad. But I'd still like to see my home from time to time. Okay, I shouldn't get upset. Right now I need to settle here and look for ways to get out. It's a shame, but my creativity in this field runs dry in a few days. Time flows differently in the tower, but I can still tell when days pass by. But I think of asking the wizard about it, but already can imagine what he would answer, so I decide not to waste our time. Instead, I ask about the ways of escape he has tried so far, and instead of answering, he gave me a book with his experiments on the dome. I'm scared to think how long these experiments took him. But now I understand why he stopped trying to escape. Making so many efforts without any results, he hardly could keep hoping for something to change. I don't understand many of his notes, so I decide to learn some more about magic out of the books in the library living room where I practically live. I could choose any other room, but for some reason this room looked the coziest to me. The wizard shook his head in puzzlement, but didn't object. And like this, time starts flying by. In due course, I grow accustomed to the tower, and almost don't think of escaping it. Also, like I don't think about asking the wizard's name, which would be useful. Mr. Wizard, may I ask you a question? After a while, I'm not sure how much time has passed, but it took me a long time to finally ask the question that intrigued me most of all. What's your name? Come on, ask him. Go on. Whatever my first impression of him was, I have to admit that the wizard always answers my questions and doesn't refuse to help me. The thing I failed to understand at the beginning is that he weaned off talking to people. I can't help thinking of how long he was here all alone. There's one book in the library. It felt warm to me, and it still does. Is it possible? It just likes you. Ooh, blushing. There's blushing. He's the book. Plot twist. What? A book? It's a magical book, right? Yes, I guess. I don't understand the language it's written in. My guess is it's magical, and it's sure you two would get along. Lumy X book. Can books do that? Although wait, I'm not a wizard at all. Magical books can do more than that, and if it thinks it would do well for you, there is some spark inside you. Maybe it's too deep for you to discover it yourself. I freeze in shock. That's some news. Does that mean I can become a wizard? You wouldn't become a wizard on your own. Did I say the last phrase out loud? No, but it's written on your face. You've learned about your abilities only because you got here, and it'll take years of practice for you to develop them, if you want to learn, that is. I have the answer ready before I get to consider it. I want to, but I quickly realize that I won't be able to do it easily. But I don't understand what's written in there, and in many other books. The wizard sighs heavily. It looks to me that I've just heaved the fate of humanity on him, or that he did it to himself. I can help you. Let's go to the library. I'll explain something. I I don't talk him out of it. I'm far too fascinated to touch the world most people consider imaginary to back out. The library looks just the way I left it. There's a book about herbs I was reading on the table, but the wizard doesn't pay it any attention. If you want to read your book, you need to learn how to see. How to see? Is it just me, or does it seem like this isn't the ordinary seeing people usually mean? But I don't have to ask anything else. How to represent things in front of your eyes. Magical books are written with magic, so people who have no connection with magic won't be able to read them, no matter how well they know the language of the book. Some people can see from the start. Those whose gift is hidden, they have to learn, for a long time. How long? In your case, it'll take years, if you don't lose interest. But after that, studying will be much easier. Years? It feels like the wizard means more than 5 or even 10 years. It'll take a long time. Very long. Should I start with such a prospect? On the other hand, what can I do in the tower where I might spend an unknown amount of time with a faint hope of escape? The wizard traces his fingers free of bandages again across the spines of the books, picks one of them and reaches out his hand with the book to me. Do you want to start this journey? Taking a deep breath and pulling myself together, I take the offered volume. It's heavy. I do. This book will help you then. Do what's written in it, and if you find something confusing, ask me about it. He nods and goes away, leaving me standing alone with some confusing magical book in my hands. I want to run to the wizard with questions as soon as I open the book. Even the very first paragraphs were difficult to decipher, but I still managed to understand the general idea. They contain the instructions I'll need to follow every day of probably many years from now on. At least I managed to get this far. But right after that, there are some weird squiggles instead of text. I guess getting the hand of this second vision will be gradual and slow. I give my head a decisive shake and start doing the exercises. Mr. Wizard, have you seen... A mere glance into the laboratory is enough for me to forget what I was looking for and what I was going to do. What? Why are your eyes like that? Did you work on some dangerous experiments again? I'm outraged to no end. How can he do that? What's wrong with that? The fact that you didn't invite me to join you. Actually, she's less annoying with him. I think she's the least annoying she's ever been with him. She plays well off of him. Their characters actually kind of do the bouncing off each other thing pretty well. I thought you disapprove of the experiments. Strongly, but I prefer to be near you to evaluate the consequences sooner rather than later. There are no consequences. The fact that the laboratory is still standing doesn't mean there are no consequences. Did you see your hands? The wizard looks at his hands as if it's the first time he sees them. I'm still unsure if he doesn't notice anything around him for real, or if it's just an exquisite act. I lean towards the first option, though. Yeah, I know, her and Slender Man were pretty great. No matter how often I tell him that his hands are the tools he works with, and that he must take care of them, he keeps getting himself into situations where his hands end up taking the blow. I don't know what he was doing before, but now I have a rule of checking up on him and providing medical aid, even against the patient's will. After giving the wizard's hands a careful examination, I take a salve I've prepared and start treating fresh cuts of unknown origin. I still have no idea how and where he gets them, but at least they heal quite fast, leaving no traces at all. Be more careful, or are you so untroubled by your safety because of me looking after you? Maybe. The phrase is spoken so softly that I'm not sure if I'm hearing things or not. Fresh bandages are wrapped around his palms, and I think that my job is done, but he'll disappear out of my sight in the evening yet again. Coming to my senses, I release his hands, say goodbye hastily, and run out of the door. Things are getting steamy in the tower. Oof, hand-holding. Only in the corridor I realized how stupid that was. Why was I so flustered? I wanted to ask him about books, and now I can't go back. It would be even more stupid. You could not re-enter a room once you have exited it. You cannot take back the storming out. I tell myself off and go back to the library. I'll try and find them on my own. What are those? Pancakes. Haven't you ever had them? Now it's just a domestic AU. She's making him pancakes. I've never seen these things before. Unbelievable. Does that mean that some fantastical magic university didn't have ordinary pancakes? It's your loss then. Many people from my village love pancakes. I'm glad I know how to cook them. It's my grand secret recipe if you want to know. Why do you call it a secret if people know about it? Because there's a secret ingredient in it. The wizard ponders, looks at the pancake very closely, and tastes it after all. I don't know why, but I'm eager to see his reaction. I think there's no secret ingredient in there at all, says Mr. I've never had a pancake. I scoff. But how? You've never tried pancakes before. How do you know? You see, for the first time, they're on my wavelength. My mockery is being replayed in the text. I'm liking this interaction. In answer to my indignation, he only smiles a bit. What a wizard. That's easy. I know what sorts of foods there are in the tower. I can tell them by taste. It's clear that the pancakes are made of batter, runny judging by their shape. Since they are quite common, the recipe must be simple and consist of the components that are easy to obtain. The secret ingredient must be something that won't ruin the original smooth consistency, because the final form of this dish is quite smooth as well. It might replace one of the main ingredients of the recipe, but there is nothing that would be able to do it in the tower. It means that the secret ingredient must add something new to the taste, and I can't feel it. Thus, I can tell that this recipe is ordinary with nothing extra in it. That's a short version of the analysis. I skipped a few parts not to intimidate you too much. No one has ever stomped Grant's cooking into dust like this. And I must say, I've never heard a scientific analysis of pancakes. How did you know that nothing was added to the taste? The wizard raises an eyebrow mockingly. No, don't tell me. I don't even want to think about what he's doing in his laboratory, in that laboratory of his. How is he even alive? Oh right, the tower's magic. But how did he survive before getting here? But they are delicious. Thank you. Delicious, ordinary pancakes made with batter out of a can, probably. Did he just praise me? What a surprise. I shut my eyes tightly, take a deep breath, and finally speak. Oh, hi, Artemis. We have already, but I can do it again. Yeah, I don't know why it's being so... boop, boop. Thing this evening. There we go. Next time I'll do it the way you won't be able to understand what else is added. We'll see. Oh yeah, regular breakfast eggs. But no matter how hard I try to outwit him, he always guesses right. Mr. Wizard, have you read all of the books in the library? Almost. Is there anything you want to ask about? To be honest, I'm just being curious. I keep completing all of the tasks for my new textbook without any visible progress. All the other books except for my favorites stay untouched by me. I won't be able to read them anyway. And my favorite book at the moment is the book about herbs, an old handwritten volume. It teaches me things I've never heard before. Some of the plants described in it are totally unknown to me. Some grow only in faraway lands, almost untouched by people and their properties. The world of plants that I love so dearly engulfs me completely, and I often spend whole days with this book. Previously, this tower showed up in places from this book, so I know that these plants really exist, but I'm sure I'll set off traveling when I get out of the tower. Yes, do you know who the author of the handwritten volume about herbs is and their properties? There are no other books like this. Sadly, I don't. Part of the collection was here before me, and this book is one of them. Okay, I have more questions. My involuntary teacher looks even more gloomy than usual after his last experiment. Can you find out who wrote it? I could try and track its owner down, but this book has been in the tower for too long. The trace will most likely stop here. Too bad. Can you predict where the tower will appear next? I can't. Why? Because the future is yet to be created. But what are people seeing in the future? But what about people seeing the future in the stars? What about astronomy? I read my horoscope today. Those are suggestions and guesses that have nothing to do with reality. That's right, he's a wizard and he's not down for astronomy. That's too far. You know things about stars, don't you? I know astronomy, but it doesn't predict the future. What about the pentagrams and the hexagrams? Those are magical attributes. They change reality around them, but don't predict the future either. Is there any difference between them? They have different effects and preferable sphere of activity, which are described in the books in detail. Can you read palms? It's anti-scientific, says the wizard. I like when they just play it off like magic and science are just the same thing with their own set of rules and everything like that. It's great. It's part of what makes the Iron Man Doctor Strange dynamic, even in the comics, shipping everything aside, so much fun. But magic! Magic is a science too. Is it a day of absurd questions? Oh, yes. I love when people are sassy to Lumy, aside from me. The wizard smiled ever so slightly. No, I just wanted to improve your mood. I'd say you did that. Mr. Wizard? Yes? I guess you have another question. You're right, but not about magic this time. It's possibly been months, or maybe even a year. Can I finally ask your name? Yes! We're gonna find out! We're gonna find out what his name is. What's your name? You know mine, and I still don't know yours. Maybe it's an improper question, or even a mystery. I'm sorry for prying in if that's the case. But still, if it's possible, I'd like to know it, at least to address you by name. I guess it's the weirdest part of our meeting. Back then I didn't even think of asking his name, and he didn't tell me afterwards. After some consideration of the ways I can figure out his name, I decide to ask directly. The wizard gives me a thoughtful look and puts the notebook with his experiments aside. You see, I can't remember it. What? How could you possibly forget your name? Was it lost due to misuse during all these years? It can't be though, since the name it can't just disappear out of the memory. It's a side effect of the spell cast on the tower. Will I forget my name too? No, this side effect was put into action the moment the spell was cast, so you're out of danger. Whew, sign relief. But I feel a bit sorry for the wizard now. Are you upset without your name? Not at all. It's not like I needed it for the last couple of centuries anyway. But still, it's his name. It's weird for me to see this sort of attitude towards it. May I ask you, how was that spell cast? Why was it cast? I assumed you'd ask about it, if you're so interested. This tower was part of a university for gifted people. It was located not far from the capital. Back in the time when people still believed in magic. It was the previous king who thought of magic as something dangerous. The magician's apprentices used to be respected, but thanks to the king, rumors began to spread. Since they were based on facts, people believed in them. Gradually, the rumors took hold in the minds of people. The wizards were troubled. None of them wanted a war, so they decided to hide their own existence. The students of the university spread all around the kingdom. All of the wizards agreed not to show their abilities to avoid trouble. It turned out that they chose the right time. The new king started to become even more suspicious towards magic, but now there were rumors saying that magic didn't even exist, which was good for us. So it's just the Harry Potter universe now? They're gonna get out and go to Diagon Alley? Now we needed to hide the university. We didn't want to destroy the ancient building totally, plus we were hoping that we'd get to reopen it at some point. Different wizards were responsible for every tower, and the central part of the university as a precaution. As you might guess, this tower was mine. Yeah, I hope we get to pick a name for him. Each part of the building received its own hexagram and contour. The wizard in charge was supposed to activate the spell, leave the building, and see their part vanishing out of reality. Later, each wizard would be able to restore his part of the building to bring the university back to life again. Our plan worked, in every case but one. Someone changed the contour and the pattern of the spell in my tower, so I couldn't get out. More than that, the tower didn't simply disappear from this layer of reality, but also started moving inside of it, using its previous location as the pivot point. In the end, I was shut inside my own spell, and I can't cancel it. I like Chad, a wizard named Chad. The wizard stops talking. I think it was the longest story he ever told me. Steve. A wizard named Steve, yes. And definitely the saddest one, too. Maybe because of the fact that Gran knows the king in person, I can't really blame him. Who knows why he decided to make magic disappear? I feel sorry for the magic, though. If it used to be all over the place, what are we missing now when we have to deal with everything on our own? But most of all, I feel sorry for the wizard. Glancing at my face, he nods in compassion and returns to his notes. How could it end with him feeling sorry for me? He didn't look sad when he was telling me this story, and I don't know how to tell him how sorry I am, but I feel something in my chest. It pangs painfully. Maybe it's because of the fact that he saved me and was kind to me, even if it wasn't obvious. Maybe it's because he agreed to participate in clearly dangerous experiments to help people in the same situation. Maybe simply because he is my friend now. I wish I had an opportunity to help him somehow as well. But I guess we're stuck in this prison that was supposed to be a salvation. He's got the bright eyes. Hello, Mr. Wizard? The wizard gives me a look and goes out of the library living room. I can't blame him. I guess I'm not in the best shape right now. I definitely wouldn't make anyone look at me. It looks like up till now I didn't realize how much I miss my family. I don't know how long I've been here. I have no idea how long I'll have to stay. The exit. Is there one? Deep in my soul, I hope I'll get out of here soon and come back home. See Gran, Mom, and all the people I know. Gran will take her favorite fan and will threaten to throw her slipper at me if I call her Gran again. Mom will grumble about me forgetting something, but it's okay. I can try again. Our neighbors will share some apples with us. Mom will bake her wonderful pies, and I'll follow the paths in the woods again, hurrying to get to Gran while the pies are still warm. And I'll meet even more strange men in the woods. Oh, she's crying. And there will be woods around me, and my garden with herbs, and a fir tree, and the square and shimmering fish in the river, and soft whisper of the wind at the foot of the mountains. Can it be that I won't ever see the faces dear to me? Won't sense the homely smells? Won't hear the familiar voices? Will I really stay here forever? I wrap my arms around my knees and bury my face in them. My eyes sting a lot. What went wrong? What would have happened if I chose another path? Or if I didn't climb the tree? The wizard can't be blamed for finding me and bringing me here. I'd die without his help. And what would be the cause of my death? My own stupidity. I can only blame myself. Something warm touches my hand. I look up. The wizard is back and giving me a mug with something steaming. Who would like seeing the pathetic creature I turned into? Right on time. I take the mug and sip the fragrant drink. Its taste is so familiar. Gran always makes tea with mint. Tears pour down my cheeks and I cover my face with one hand, but I don't let go of the mug, still breathing in this aroma that's so dear to my heart. It's uncomfortable to drink it like this, but I drink it down to the last drop while the wizard's hand strokes my hair compassionately and soothingly. A soft, unusually tender voice puts me to sleep. I had a home too, really close to the tower. I spent a lot of time here, but still loved to come back there. Even when I traveled around the country, I always came back. It was my only place of calm. I still remember it and want to return. You won't forget your family, and they won't forget you. Keep them in your memory and save your power to use when you need it to get back to them. Let your memories of them be a ray of hope, not a weight pulling you down. You'll make it, I'm sure. We'll get out of here. My tears have dried. My breath is calm, and my mind is clear again. The wizard keeps sitting with me to the point that I get totally sleepy, covers me with a blanket, and stands up to go. Thank you. I did nothing. You helped me to come back to myself. If he answered me, I didn't hear it. Sleep finally pulls me into its embrace. But I know that from now on, I'll have the strength to be myself. I love that you guys are all just naming him in the chat. That is amazing. Lumy. Yes? A familiar dark-haired head pokes into the living room where I'm sitting with a book. His eyes are downcast, so he doesn't seem to know how to put the words right. He is frowning. It means that something is troubling him. Now I'm done with interpreting hardly noticeable hints of emotion. An option. It's been a million years. It's been 84 years. I didn't touch anything, or your lunch is in the kitchen, Mr. Wizard. That sounds very domestic. I don't know. I feel like they've moved past the point in their relationship where he'd be very concerned about her touching anything. It's a bit subservient for lunch for me, but I'm not Lumy, so... Your lunch is in the kitchen. If at first I simply didn't know what to call him, now I just like to tease him. That's not what I wanted to ask about. Too bad. I made pancakes, and I know how much you like them. Pancakes? No, they'll have to wait. Oh, it must be something serious then. Yeah, truly, for what is more important than pancakes? What happened? The basement. The star, there must be something about it. But we looked there in the morning and everything was fine. What could have changed? Ooh, things are kicking off in the basement. We get to the star as quickly as possible, and it greets us with a soft glow. I move closer to look at the symbols on the floor. The dome is open. You didn't change anything today, did you? You're right, I didn't, and the dome is still intact, but it's close to opening. The last phrase gives me hope. It's much closer to opening than ever before. Was there anything unusual with you today? Maybe this question is a bit too straightforward, but I know he wouldn't ask without a reason. I don't think so. I didn't even touch anything in the laboratory. Was dressed the same way, had Grand's fan. Fan! I knew it. The fan is the most important item in this entire story. Yes, I don't take it with me normally, but it never had any magical properties anyway. I don't think it's the cause of the change. I was browsing through my belongings in the morning and for some reason put the fan into my pocket instead of leaving it in the room. Can you show it to me? Is her grandmother a wizard? Because I'm here for that. I'm 100% here for that. I take the fan out of my pocket in confusion, and immediately something surprising happens. The heptagram flashes, filling the whole room with light. The wizard pulls me away and shields me from the flash just in time, as if sensing what's about to happen. After some blinking, I hesitantly peek up from behind my companion. The fan lays at the very edge of the star, glimmering mysteriously. What? But it didn't have any magical properties. It's just an ordinary fan. But yes, it's pretty. And Gran loves it more than anything else. It hasn't ever had a bit of magic in it, though. I've always thought it's a present from the king, and maybe it might have had some magic in it, but... How long has it belonged to Gran? It's older than me. Any sort of magic would have either showed itself or wore off. Yeah, because that's how magical objects work. They wear off over time. And how often did she hit people over the head with the fan? Nothing worse than a bruise happened after that. This fan only looks nice because Gran has taken care of it. I have no idea what sort of magic could be there. It's difficult to see a bit of magic when the item is filled with magic to the brim. It's a curious thing. I wonder where it's from. Stay where you're standing, and turn away just in case. Of course I'm not going to turn away. The wizard slowly comes closer to the fan, bends down, touches it, and draws his hand back at once. He looks at his fingers, which are not bandages today, although usually all I do is redress them. What? All I do is redressing them. The grammar. While listening to the grumbling of this misfortune personified. He tilts his head thoughtfully, looks at the star closely, and nods decisively. Grabbing the fan, the wizard steps back and flings it into the middle of the star. Flash. The lines on the floor flash even brighter, as I barely manage to cover my face and feel heat coming from all the magic that's happening. Flash. But I feel hot. How is the wizard feeling at the very edge of it? The heat and shining subside gradually. Now only the lamps on the walls keep shining, brighter than usual. The fan is lying in the middle of the heptagram, and the wizard is still standing at its edge. He turns towards me and waves his hand. I'm sorry I needed to do that. But your fan is okay. You can take it back. For no matter the situation, what truly matters is the fan okay? How could he talk about the fan? You see, this is the only time, this is the only scenario so far where she's had any kind of sense of reason. I'm loving it. Listen to the wizard or act on our own. This is definitely a decision that is going to have consequences for us, for sure. Love is magic. That's true. It's the greatest magic of all. Doesn't she know? I'm going to act on my own. I don't need to listen to no wizard. I've been studying magic. As if waking up from a dream, I run across the room and wrap my arms around the wizard. Why would I care about the fan? It's not alive, and you... I'm so happy you're okay. I'm saying this without thinking, with my eyes shut tight. I expect any sort of reply, except for the feeling of the wizard's warm hand stroking my shoulder awkwardly, as if in an attempt to calm me down. After standing like this for a bit, I finally find the strength to step back from my friend. And since I'm here... Well, yes, I mean, since you're there already. Oh, show me your hand. Oh, that's where that's going. All right. Show me your hand. What for? Just show me. You must have burned it again. I will save after. If we have to go back and listen to him. The wizard sighs, but gives me his hand. And... how can this be? There's no burn. Not even a scratch. I know that his wounds heal faster than wounds of normal people, but not this fast. Plus, if the fan is this powerful, it's supposed to leave some sort of a trace. Maybe a magical one? Or maybe someone really sly is hiding something just so I don't treat his hand. I should ask about it later. The wizard shrugs and says something totally unexpected. The dome disappeared. What? I'm not imagining it? I'm used to feeling the presence of the dome. The feeling is somewhat like noise, as if you're sitting at the creek and listening to its gurgling. If you sit long enough and don't strain your hearing, the gurgling seems to disappear, go into the background as if it's not there anymore. But in fact, it's always there. But if it suddenly dies down, the silence will feel strange. The same thing is happening now. The sound of the dome around me disappeared. I didn't realize what's wrong at first, but when I did, I couldn't believe it. But if the wizard says the same thing, the dome is gone. We can go wherever we want. The location is the place you came from. I checked. It's not important how he figured it out. As soon as I get to the door leading out of the basement, I see the familiar woods. Can it be? Could the tower jump back to my home at the very last moment? Maybe it's because of the fan. I take a step forward and don't feel the usual resistance. It's really gone. We gather quickly, taking only the most necessary things. I want to climb up the walls in anticipation, but previous outings taught me to be careful, and I know that I shouldn't go too far without the magician. I try not to run too far forward until I get to the place I most definitely know. Where should we go? Freedom! Freedom with the wizard, traveling through the forest with the wizard. Go to the village or look for Gran's cottage? I mean, we were already having a hard time before, but maybe we should try to get Gran her fan, since the fan played such a large part in freeing us. Yeah, I know, right? Gran, always Gran. Let's ask her about her magical fan. I need to go to my Gran's first. That way. I wave my hand to show direction and the wizard turns there. That means we'll go together. Yay! We follow the path briskly and in silence. I don't know what the wizard is thinking, but the only thing that's on my mind is that Gran must be angry or even sad, so I need to hurry up and calm her down. See, it's so bad that I discovered all the save slots they have. I'm a saving fiend. Yes, she is strict, but I know she loves me, and during my time in the tower I realized that I miss my family a lot. I don't know what thoughts the wizard has, and why we're walking in the same direction. Most likely he simply wants to get out of the woods. Maybe he hopes to find his university, or the place where it used to be, since it doesn't exist in my time. Here's the last turn. Now the cottage should become visible. Weird. The familiar glade is empty. I stop in my tracks and the wizard turns to see what's wrong. It's gone. I feel like I've been punched in the gut. Gran hasn't always lived in this cottage, but the cottage itself was there for a long time, and it won't disappear fast either. It can't be. How long have we been absent? Did we go this far into the future that even the cottage disappeared? Maybe something happened here. Maybe the cottage got destroyed by some accident in the woods and Gran moved back to the village. Maybe I should have gone there instead. People are there, and Gran would go to Mom if I was away for a long time. While I'm trying to understand what happened and where half my life is now, the wizard shuts his eyes quietly and draws something in the air. Nothing has ever been built here. There were no people here before us. I didn't even think of that. My knees buckle and I sit on the grass. Too many emotions for today. I guess the tower threw us back quite far back in time in the very end. You do understand that it's useless to return there and tune it, right? Why is that? It has always been unstable, and you know that. The shakeup must have changed the pattern further, and we don't know if the dome disappeared forever. It's quite possible that this effect will be temporary, which means that you'll risk getting stuck in the tower again as soon as you go there. I know, but maybe the tower will... There's almost no chance. Still, I must give it a try. Do you really have to? I stand up and brush the dust off my clothes. Whatever the case, I have nowhere to go and nothing to do in this unexpectedly alien world. Even the slim chance I'll get when I return to the tower is better than anything that might be waiting for me here. What can I do? Rebuild the village? Move to the city in hopes of living till I get back to my time? These options are bad. The tower will give me some sort of chance. The wizard nods, understanding. Okay. In that case, the tower is at your command. No, I don't want us to part. Why am I so bad at getting any endgame couples in this game? We part like old friends. I'm so bad at getting her to hook up with people in this game. I know it's possible because there are 34 endings, and every time I just miss it. Even though we haven't known each other for very long, I feel a bit sorry to say goodbye to him, but asking him to go back to the tower he spent so many years in, no, it would be cruel. I can't ask him to do that. I go all the way back alone. I find the tower quickly. It looks the same way it used to, with the walls of gray stone. Only the dome is missing. I used to think of it as a prison, but not anymore. Now it's my only chance to get back to my family. Now it'll be my home. Never-ending story. 10 years have passed since then. No. How do I always get the bad ending? What should I do today? When I started living alone, I struggled with finding daily tasks for myself. It was especially difficult at first when I didn't know whether the tower was going to move again or if it was stuck in this time and place. To my huge relief, some time passed and the jumps returned. There was no dome anymore, but I was hesitant to walk far away from the tower, scared that it might vanish without me. But as it turned out, it doesn't move without me. Maybe the wizard would have been able to figure out why that's happening, and I don't know enough about the laws of magic to solve this riddle. I'm satisfied with the knowledge that I won't be left alone in some unknown place. I'm done with the exercises. My magical proficiency is still low. I can read the first page of the textbook much faster, but it's the only thing I've managed to achieve so far. I'm not going to give up though. Magic gives me a chance to go back home, and I'm going to do everything within my power not to lose this chance. The tower is okay. Food is ready. The magic that keeps the tower in great condition is still working, but I made it my duty to check every room from time to time just in case. There is still food in the pantries. To supplement it, sometimes I end up near settlements where I can exchange my herbal medicines, bombs, and concoctions for fresh food. I wonder if he would have guessed what's in the pancakes today. I haven't seen my friend since then. I must admit that I feel lonely, but the thought of him spending more time here in comparison with me gives me some strength. In some way, the mere memory of him supports me. I can't help cooking pancakes. Well, It's time to go out. Today the tower appeared in a field. I walked there for an hour, simply breathing in fresh air and enjoying the sun before returning to my usual routine, picking all kinds of plants I can find, classifying them, putting the unknown ones aside. I'll be studying the latter in the evening and writing everything I learned about them down into my own manuscript, since the book I liked disappeared with many other books. She wrote the book. Huh. I'm sorry about it, but there is nothing else that can possibly be done. In due course, I realized I like to study the herbs even more than making something out of them. I've always thought that I'm an herbalist, but now I know I've always been a scientist somewhere deep inside. I don't know if someone will see my work, but I feel it's going to be useful. And for now, a whole world is waiting for me. Why is it always so bleak? Why do I pick the endings that make things bleak? Oh, why? I don't even know. It is an interesting ending, actually. That ending is interesting. I'm just kind of like, how could I have done that differently so that he, like, stayed, or we ended up back in the proper time, or... In a way, I'm kind of glad, though. That one took a long time, so I think maybe we'll see if we can start a short one, or maybe meet the other character that we haven't met yet before we go into Recapsville. Because what I figured out is that sometimes the choice you make that's wrong is really close to the beginning. I mean, wrong. I mean, none of them are really wrong, but... Okay, let's forget the stories. I don't have any questions. I know all of the things. Boop. And let's walk along the river again. We haven't done that in a while. And of course we're gonna wait. I mean, we need to wait. Ugh. Okay, so we waited. And nothing happened. Sadness. As she gets right back to the ending that she already got to. Oh, the struggle is so real. I'm just trying to see, like... Okay, let's try the story of the Woodland Paradise again. And let's see if we can do something different. To the right. Which was, if I recall correctly, I'm trying to remember which one was the wolf option. Do we remember if the wolf was to the left or to the right? I don't remember. It's been too long. It's been 3 weeks. Let's see to the right. No, right was Hunter. Forget him. We know how that's gonna go. Yes, I want to lose all of my progress because I need to go to the left. That's what I need to do. That's the thing with like games like this. You end up getting obsessed, at least I do, with finding different endings. I can just sit there for hours and just be like, I need to find all of the possible combinations to get me all of the endings. I need to know. Oh, right. Okay, this time, this was one of our choices. Last time we picked adventures. Let's pick love. You know what? Like, love. We've tried so hard. Every girl thinks of love secretly. I'm no exception. It's easy to yearn for it after all the stories Gran told me. Please, I want to love and be loved. I want to find out what this feeling is, and I want to keep it in my heart so it would stay with me and give me strength in times of need. Thank you. I want to get with one of the characters in this game. It is low-key the purpose. I stand at this spot a bit more, looking at the temple one last time and return to the path. I don't know if my wish will come true, but I really hope for it. I do too. Please. Feels like I've been walking for a while. I can't figure out where the sun is shining from, so I can't find out where I'm going, or what time it is either. Maybe I've turned the wrong way. There were 3 paths after all. I could have easily made a mistake. I think it's not too late to go back, though. Or is it? I might go back to the fork only to find that I've wasted all day on it. No, it won't do. I better keep going forward. Anyways, the woods might lead me where I need, even with the help of the wrong path. The problem is the ideas of the places I need don't match all the time. Hi, Wolf. There we are. We went the right way for you. Okay, so last time we told him all about where we were going. We told him all of the things, and then because of that, he slept with Grandma. So let's not do that this time. We're gonna say nothing. He doesn't need to know. Do you see a guy this handsome for the first time in your life so you can't take your eyes off me? Not really. Oops, it sounded like I'm trying to offend him. Well, I mean, maybe you're handsome, but I only got distracted with a thought. Okay, so now let's save, because from here on out, our options are going to be different. It sounded even worse. I start thinking of ways to get out of this situation, but Wolf only scoffs and waves his hand to show me there's no need for me to give any explanations. Let me think now. What can be on the mind of a girl in the dark woods, all alone? Maybe you wanted to find a rescuer who would help you to find your way home? Ellipses. It's been a while since we've had a good ellipses. Yes, he guessed everything right, but I still need to be careful with him. Who knows what he is thinking of? People say many things about the wolf. So, where are you headed to, little one? Little one? My name is Lumy. May I ask what's your name? Ellipses. It's just Wolf. I'm sure you've already realized it. That's weird. I thought he had a name other than that, but it's even better like that. Much easier to remember. So, Mr. Wolf, why are you so interested in the girls you meet in the woods? Also, in case you don't know it, calling a random girl little one is impolite. And I'm not that little, if you want to know. You must be up to something weird yourself. Otherwise, why would you meet me in the woods? And I didn't even notice you appearing in front of me, and that means that you've set it up on purpose. And so you're definitely suspicious. Were you waiting for me here? It looks very, very weird, you know. Do you have anything to say as an excuse? I pile out all of the questions I have on the wolf. He can't even say a word, and when I look at him, his expression becomes serious for a moment. Ellipses. But I might just be seeing things. Ellipses. At first he shakes his head, looking at me incredulously, and then laughs out loud. Oh, you've just came up with a whole spy drama. I was waiting for you. Yeah, right. I confess, I stopped you on purpose, but only because you looked very much lost. So anyway, I thought of keeping you company. There are different things in here, and I'm not the most fearsome one, whatever you've been told. There are too many weird things happening lately. And how about retrying the meeting scene? I truly wasn't expecting you to bump into me. I don't even get a chance to ask what it means when the wolf bows shortly and takes my hand. Good day to you, young lady. Let me introduce myself. Wolf. Just Wolf. He kisses my hand in a gallant manner, which I didn't expect, so I freeze on the spot, forgetting all of my suspicions. This scene looks like a moment from one of Gran's tales, not like a usual walk through the woods. I see that you're lost and have no idea where you are. Let me help you find your way? It's dangerous in the woods at the moment, so lovely girls like you shouldn't walk in here all alone, but I would be delighted to keep you company. I ponder a bit. Wolf sounds quite convincing, although very skeezy, and there are some weird things in the woods why can't I read? It's because it's getting late. And there are more things in the woods than it used to be. Indeed. Maybe he really had nothing bad in mind. Oh, she's back to being clueless. Her time with the wizard smartened her up, but without the wizard to guide her, she truly is back to being very oblivious. Maybe I shouldn't have blabbered out all my suspicions to him, but if it made him speak frankly, it's for the best. Or at least I hope he was frank. I just want to save her because this image is pretty. And it might be a nice cover image to have. Should I believe him, though? I pulled my hand out of his grasp. What if I don't need any companions? It's not true, of course. It would be nice to walk with someone. And it would be even nicer if this someone is the creature that's told to be the scariest in the woods. What if he's only pretending to be good? What if he's just waiting for the moment when we get to Grant's cottage to eat us both? Oh, it's terrifying. What if he is honest, though? He could have eaten me many times already and find Grant's cottage by himself, but he's acting quite peaceful instead. I'm confused. I see that you need a companion for sure, so I insist on going with you. Or you might get totally lost. I guess it's useless to try to get rid of him. I can't really trust him, but who knows what might happen in the woods when you walk off the right path. Hopefully all the tales about wolves are merely tales. Okay, I think some extra help would be quite useful. The path keeps weaving through the bushes without turning anywhere. How can I possibly get lost in here? I still suspect Wolf in the most awful intentions. He doesn't try to start a conversation, so we walk in silence for a while. Maybe all the way to Grand's will be calm. Pfft, no it won't, not in this game. That would be best of all. Simply get to Grand's and say goodbye to my suspicious companion. Please know that has happened far too many times for me. We need to make this happen. And see him no more. Or maybe Gran will notice him and will throw her wonderful ironclad slipper at him. He'll forget his evil intentions after that for sure. People have forgotten more than that after catching this weapon of my Gran. I think we might get there without any mishaps. That's like saying, what could possibly go wrong? Ouch! Or not. A root that treacherously appeared under my feet ruins my plans of watching my suspicious companion closely. I can already imagine the scene of my epic fall right into the dust, my knees scraped, and Wolf laughing. But it doesn't happen. The suspicious companion manages to stop me from biting the dust. Literally. Careful, I've warned you already. Sorry, I got lost in my thoughts again. You'd better watch your step, or should I carry you in my arms so you don't fall anywhere else? No, I can walk on my own. Mom tells me that I'm a klutz, but I hope she's overreacting. Do you really think I'm this clumsy? I watch my companion closely, wishing to get an immediate answer to my question. No? How could I? You are grace personified. The arrogant wolf bursts out in laughter, and I unwillingly join him. Indeed, today I'm constantly tripping over stuff. It's not my luckiest day, I guess. Anyway, this moment noticeably reduces the pressure hanging in the air. So we keep walking and talking about some trivial things. At some point, topic switches to us. Listen, you're from the village at the foot of the mountain, right? Of course. What about you? Have you been living here all your life? I have been living in the woods. Not all my life, though. Sometimes I want to live out in the wild, too. Why? Do you want some solitude? No, that's not the reason at all. There's so much to learn here. The woods are so beautiful and always different. No places look the same. I find something new and surprising every time I walk here. True dat. And there's so many mysteries hidden in here. Clearings with berries, deserted temples, ancient trees, wondrous in their beauty and splendor. If I were living here, I'd have more opportunities to see it all. As for the village, I love it. It's my home. But sometimes it looks like it never changes. Or I guess I get a bit too enthusiastic. But it's the topic you can talk about endlessly. Wolf is listening to me with interest. Before that I thought that he is only trying to be polite, even though it's weird for a person with his reputation. But now he really looks like he cares. Your words have a nice ring to them. I wish I could build a small house near the river, go fishing from time to time, and occasionally venture out to see something weird, mysterious, or even dangerous. Do you live alone? What's your address? Does anybody know where you are? No, with my mom. My gran used to live in our basement and do some experiments, but then she moved to the woods. I really want to learn something about the wolf, too. Ooh, that sounds like maybe we will get a chance to ask him a question. After our talk, his polite offer to help and the way he held me back from dangers, like rocks and roots getting under my feet, he doesn't look so dangerous anymore. He doesn't even remind me of the person people were warning me about. Maybe just a tiny bit. Ooh, question time. Come on, ask your friends. Who do you live with? Oh, do you have a girlfriend? Is that the question that she wants to ask him? So you haven't always lived in the woods. I guess you were in the village. Well, we have an advantage because we know he's got a tragic backstory. So I think maybe if we can somehow unlock his backstory, cause like, you know, then maybe we can get an ending where we actually get somebody. I'm trying so hard. So you haven't always lived in the woods. Instinct. I'm just going by instinct here. Who do you live with? So you haven't always lived in the woods. Creatures like you are rare in this land. Creatures like... No. No. Creatures like me. What do you mean? Well, white wolves. Gran told me they are long extinct. True. In any case, another wolf like me doesn't exist for sure. You're very humble, you know. Humbleness is not a quality a wolf needs. Yes, otherwise you'd die of hunger. Wolf jokingly clicks his teeth near my ear and I laugh. Oh, he did the play bite? For some reason, this action doesn't look either frightening or suspicious to me now. As for your question, I used to travel a lot, and I saw many things, but then I settled here. What did you find so attractive in these woods? The hunter. Remember the history and the backstory with the hunter. It's relatively quiet and peaceful here. Even if our woods are not really like that, I definitely didn't expect that Wolf would look for quiet and peace. He raises his eyes dreamily. There were times when I think that you have a lot of interesting stories about the world. Can you tell me some of them? She says, cutting him off as he was about to wax poetic. You want to hear some? I really do. I've never been outside of the woods. Well, I can tell you a few stories. He starts a tale of a kingdom far across the sea, of his way there and back, and of the residents of the kingdom, huge creatures made of stone and talking trees with eyes and mouths. I listened to him, almost forgetting everything else. Who knew he was such a good storyteller? Wolf doesn't say much about himself, but it turns out that he was in many places, so it's very interesting to listen to him. We keep walking like this, talking about faraway lands, joking, and mutually enjoying the talk. I can't tell his exact age, but he looks quite young, even though he knows so much. This thought makes me smile. Suddenly, something makes me stop. Premonition? Or I've just noticed something without realizing it. Is it that we're back by the creepy tower? Is that what it is? In this case, it's weird that I noticed it sooner than Wolf, whose senses must be much better than mine. I guess you want something more than just walking... I guess you want something more than just me walking with you to your grand's place, since you keep stopping at every opportunity. No, I think I'm just seeing things. There's a sound. There's a sound. There's rustling. A branch breaks somewhere in the distance, softly, tentatively, as if someone doesn't want to make any noise, or as if someone spies nearby. I hear it. Ellipses. The cracking repeats. This time Wolf starts looking around too, as if troubled by what he is sensing. Maybe it's a deer. A very big deer. Oh, this is a big choice. But wherever it leads us, we're gonna have to wait because it is late, so we're gonna have to leave it here. But next time, we will continue on. I will read your choices about what you guys think, and we'll pick up right from this choice. And we will go forward and try to actually get to an end game, even though the last one was interesting. But I was kind of sad because, to be honest, I was shipping her and the wizard a little bit. I, at the very least, wanted to get the chance to name him. So, yeah. So, thank you, as always, for hanging out with me. I really enjoy this game. I'm not even going to pretend that I don't enjoy this game. I love it. It's really fun in a cheesy but accessible kind of way. And I have to say, in some of the longer arcs, she's actually not written too badly. So, yeah. Fun. good times, a fun Friday evening. Who needs to go out when you can stay in and play Crossroad? So, thank you guys so much. As always, it's been a lot of fun. We'll get back to this maybe in a week or so. We shall see. And as always, we've got tons of videos coming up. We've got some more Marvel stuff. I'm working on Grindeldor. It's going to be a good time. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys soon. And we will see you. Bye-bye.